I'm live here at the Boston skyline as 22 News continues our live coverage on the days leading up to the Boston Marathon. In the days and weeks following a terrible tragedy like the marathon bombings, it can be overwhelming and painful for communities to navigate on how to cope and what to do next. 22 News reporter Julie McDonald paid a visit to the Boston Public Library to see an exhibit that was the very start of the city's healing.
This is a chorus. These are many voices raised in unison, and each one of them has something meaningful to say.
Something to say to the city they love, to the innocent people who stood on Boylston Street that April day their lives changed forever. The makeshift memorial that grew by the hour in the days following the marathon bombings has now been recreated as an exhibit in the city's public library. Dear Boston, a salutation to the city so many hold dear in their hearts. The curator of Dear Boston told 22 News she didn't want this exhibit to be like a funeral where people left feeling sad and alone. She wanted it to be an experience that lifted their spirits as the city heals all together. Runner bibs and medals represent what was supposed to be a joyful tradition of athleticism and competition. At the center of the exhibit, rows of sneakers that are a physical symbol of the things you can't see left behind along that route.
There, I think, was this need for runners to leave a piece of themselves there, and the shoes are so much a part of their identity as runners.
The messages came from Istanbul, Mumbai, and Venezuela. From people who have never been to Boston to those who consider the city a piece of who they are.
It's emotional. I don't know, I look at my kids and you're just thankful that, you know, you're with your kids. Our friends were running that day and you just had this strong connection with the people you love in your life.
The Jarman family, originally from Massachusetts, watched the horror of the marathon bombings on the other side of the country in their new home. They brought their sons to the exhibit to show them the strength of their city.
Sad that anybody would ever do that to little kids, adults, babies, all of them who were just running.
So many of the voices in this Dear Boston memorial send messages of hope. From repeating the words of the boy whose bright smile was seen around the world, no more hurting people, to the tone of the 2014 marathon and every one after. Boston will run again. Julie McDonald, 22 News.
The Dear Boston Memorial is located right by the finish line at the Boston Public Library on Boylston Street. 22 News continues our live coverage from Boston through the race on Monday. Live at the Boston skyline, Tiffany Chan, 22 News.